Ohayou gozaimasu. How are you all doing today? It's a lot later in the day than I wanted it to be. Waking up, I woke up at noon or something like that, and I've been kind of really slogging around. Well, every day this year so far has been a lot more action-packed or jam-packed, or at least me doing something. But today is just gonna be one of those days where I catch up on sleep. Originally, I had other plans to go play tennis with some friends, but that got canceled. And also, it's even colder outside than it was yesterday. And I was up until about 4 last night hanging out. That video will come out in a few days. I'm coordinating with Kit to release the video at the same time, so today you get kind of a filler day. So part of my lazy day today is just me sitting here on my bed, watching YouTube or whatever, eating food, all on my kotatsu. Actually, when I think about it in retrospect, I probably could have been more lazy by just having it be on the floor rather than taking the effort to put it onto my bed, because normally it's supposed to be just on the ground. Anyway, kotatsu is, as you can see here, it's this heated table with a blanket underneath. I originally got this kotatsu for my friends last year, and they actually didn't give me a blanket, so I decided to improvise and put my bed blanket onto this, which works. It's really nice and toasty. I'm loving it right now. What is a kotatsu, you ask? Kotatsu is basically this heated table. I think it's only used in Japan. I've never heard of it in another country. Most Japanese homes have one, and they use it primarily during the winter. And in the summer, when it's a lot hotter and they don't need to use the heated function, they can just have it be a table for people to sit at and eat food or do whatever. We actually played Monopoly on it last night, which, spoiler alert, you'll see in a later video that I'll publish. What is the origin of kotatsu, you may be asking? Well, originally it came, I believe, from Muromachi period, which was about 1300, 1400. I could be wrong on that. But basically, it started off from the idea of the irori, which is like a cooking hearth. Very similar to a fireplace in Western cultures. Fireplace is a place where you can go to gather around, but also as a fire, you can go ahead and cook stuff on it. So that's what Japanese people did back then. They would just sit around it and keep warm and toasty, as well as cook their food. Irori was primarily heated using charcoal as opposed to firewood. People were smart back then and were like, oh yeah, this is pretty comfortable. Let's try to find an innovative way to sit around it. Sometime later, they found a way to actually put the irori, where they put a wooden platform around. They would dig a space beneath the ground and they would have this wooden platform around it, and it would be this dugout, and they would place the charcoal in there. They would heat it a little bit. They would have a blanket be over it to separate the fire kind of from going out of control. Less flammable blanket, I assume, because blankets could catch on fire. And that concept was known originally as hori kotatsu. Hori, the kanji, is ditch, and then kotatsu, go is like a torch, and then tatsu is kind of a weird kanji to translate, but it kind of translates to swallow. When you put the kanji together, kotatsu, basically it's like foot warmer because it comes from below. Sometime later, they improved on it and they put the irori in this higher area. They would have this wooden structure, so the irori would be here, and now people can start putting their legs underneath. It's kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? Like a beta testing kotatsu. I'm sure there's a different way to state that, but sorry about that, my phone was about to fall. Anyway, in that reign, the more alpha or beta style of the kotatsu originally had kind of this pot that was planted underneath the table, and then you put the charcoal in, and then the way to use it is very similar to the modern day kotatsu. Keeps falling down. As time went on and electricity was implemented, they eventually found a way to create that same heat generating effect, so they kind of slapped it onto the bottom of the table. The way the heating system is designed is almost ingenious, because I've never heard of anybody getting burned off of the heating infrastructure of the kotatsu, because the way the infrastructure is created is the plating around it doesn't actually absorb any of the heat. It lets it all kind of disperse, so the heating, even when you touch it, is not hot. I've never heard of anybody getting burned of it. I've never heard of any sort of like fire hazard situation regarding it, so it's actually kind of ingenious. I wish I had one when I was living in South Dakota for about 3 years, because the winters over there get brutally cold, and I had this space heater that I would keep next to my bed every night, but when I wanted to do something like this, to watch a computer or something and have a table, or when I was eating, it would have been nice to have something like a kotatsu. Typically, you can take off these table frames. As you can see, I'm lifting this table. I'm lifting the top of the table, but not the whole thing. So that's kind of like a little bit overlay of what a kotatsu is. And they're not that expensive either. It's only, well, I got this one for free, but I think Kit's kotatsu ended up costing something like $100 or something, and hers is very nice. This one's nice too, though. Just a little bit more explaining of something kind of uniquely Japanese, I think, because I've never heard of this in any other country. Anyway, that's all all I have for today's vlog. Just an informational thing about Japanese culture. If you're looking forward to more videos like this, please let me know down below. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's vlog. ありがとうございました。また明日。